Hey, it's Friday. I'm Dominic D'Angelo of AdFreeShows.com, podcast, Heat Wrestling, and SEScoops.com. Also, it's Rumor and Innuendo, and happy to be a Friday. I'm here with Mr. Robert Karpos, WD Creative _ish. Robert, there's a free library near me, and guess what book I found in it?
What? Am I on the right show?
Kelsey Grammer. So far.
Oh, that's tremendous. By the way, probably one of the only books where you should go with the audiobook. Several hours of the dulcet tones of Mr. Kelsey Grammer.
Dr. Fraser Crane has the forward, actually.
I just listened to the Michael J. Fox book about that he wrote about Back to the Future. And there's a tremendous anecdote where he talks about playing Johnny B. Good live twice. Once at MetLife Stadium.
Yeah.
Once in beautiful Gainesville, Florida at Kate's Fish Camp, a middle of the nowhere, hole in the wall, RV adjacent fish camp where, as a freshman, they did not care if you were drinking. Way back when, not now. Now they're super strict, let's assume. And I would never have partaken in anything under the age of 21. But hypothetically, theoretically, maybe. These are things that I have heard.
In an alternate universe, so to speak.
In an alternate universe, let's say hi to the folks joining us here. Ron Ward wants to know, where's my BLT? Again, much like Dom pulling out a Fraser Crane book. What? Throwing us a was up. You like BLTs?
I love BLTs. Oh yeah, big time.
I don't understand the appeal of a BLT. To me, it's like you're steps closer to getting to a burger. But like, where's the actual, like, bacon is a topping on burgers.
It's like a light sandwich. It's a light sandwich.
It's too light. I mean, like bacon grilled cheese all day, every day. Also not a big lettuce guy. I don't need it on sandwiches. Gets in the way.
Do you like spinach? I like spinach.
I do like spinach. Not on a sandwich.
No, not a sandwich.
The hell show is this? Cammy Star says, after morning, boys. Dom, let's not add to the count today. Okay. I've lost count. From what I understand, from what I have untangled from things I saw on the Facebook, Dom, who also is our producer over at Working Stiff, didn't post the Patreon that Scott Chaplin and I recorded about SmackDown. He did post my Something to Sports Entertainment with, but at the wrong level.
Yes.
And then finally posted the actual main show that I recorded with Scott Chaplin yesterday. That's available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your shows. Am I so far correct?
You are on the money with that. That's correct. So that's 3. I messed up the intro earlier this week. That's 4. So I think I'm at 4. Right? 4 damn it, Doms. Cammy, you're the official counter of that, by the way. I am appointing you since you have made the play for it. Hey, also, Devin Dowling says, hey, yo, anyone ever been into a soap opera? Man, I'm obsessed with Beyond the Gates. I don't know that. I was a Young and the Restless guy. Big time.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I was an All My Children kid.
Were you really?
I was the soap opera my parents both independently would randomly just like have off.
Oh, yeah. No, I love Young and the Restless. Big fan of that. All right. Robert, it is Friday, but we got some things to talk about for sure. There's a SmackDown that's going to air in a couple hours or go live in a couple hours, all the way in Berlin, Germany. But the card looks pretty bountiful for what they have lined up for it. We have 3 stages of hell match for the undisputed WWE Championship. It's going to be Cody Rhodes. That's the champion. He's taking on Drew McIntyre. He's the challenger. Robert, will this be the blow-off match for these two?
I don't know. There was a sentence that was going on there, and it kind of got derailed somewhere in the middle of it. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'll be honest. The logic to me, it would have been, if this was in the U.S. and this was not a taped show and this was a singles match, that we would have gotten a Jacob Fatu situation.
Yeah.
But you're in Europe on a pre-tape show.
How much of a problem is that, though, really? I mean, like, the ardent fans are going to be maybe tuning into spoilers and being on the social media, but, like, your mass audience, they're still going to tune into SmackDown and see like, oh, hey, maybe Jacob Fatu shows up and changes the whole trajectory of Cody's world title situation or whatever it may be.
I think the issue is we've seen Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes several times now.
A lot, yeah.
And the narrative has always been that Cody has won in some form or fashion, but it's always been because of some kind of, Drew had an out.
Yeah. Correct.
And now, for the first time, you're doing a 3 stages of hell match, which takes all that away because it's a straight up wrestling match, then it's Falls Count Anywhere match, then it's a cage match. So if Jacob Fatu interferes, if he gets revenge, it's weakening Cody.
True.
Cody would have lost or won, but because he couldn't beat Drew on his own. So eventually it feels like, well, you have to get back to Cody and Drew. You can't have Cody weak going into Mania.
No.
If you have Cody outright beat Drew is damaged going into Rumble Mania season. Then it's like, well, where is he going from here? So if he loses and then gets sucked into a feud with Jacob Fatu, it's a lesser version of Drew McIntyre. They've kind of booked themselves into a weird corner.
Robert, I kind of forget when Jacob Fatu got attacked. Did they reveal who the attacker ultimately was?
I thought they did. I thought that they revealed it was Drew, but again, this could be headcanon and not real life.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Wrestling Old Head asks the pertinent question: what about a Randy Orton heel turn? Is it time? The time to have turned Randy Orton would have been back in October, and I would have gone with that around Survivor Series. Randy was off TV for a little while. Now, to turn him so quickly toward with this close to WrestleMania, I think where Randy's value is at the moment is going into the Rumble. This narrative that Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, Trick Williams, Drew McIntyre, everybody's coming after Cody. They all want to be world champion. I think that is the compelling story for Orton. An outright Randy Orton heel turn, which deserves a lot of time, would be curtailed because we're most likely getting Cody and Roman.
You think so? Do you think so?
Yes, I do, because you have to look at what's going to be the biggest name on the poster. What's going to be the biggest match for, when I say mainstream, I don't mean mainstream wrestling fan. I mean the mainstream audience, the people who have knowledge of wrestling and still call it WWF and still think Hulk Hogan is there. These are the kinds of folks that are beyond a casual fan. In football, these are the ones who like, well, I know who Travis Kelce is because he's dating Taylor Swift, but I don't know anything else about football. Yeah. They know who Roman Reigns is. They, in theory, know who Cody Rhodes is. So you put those two on a poster, people are going to go, oh, I have a passing knowledge of those two people. That makes sense that would be headlining their Super Bowl. Same way on the other side, I'm worried they're going to go with CM Punk and Brock Lesnar because that's the other two big names that you put on a poster and go, oh, I've heard of Brock Lesnar. I've heard of CM Punk. Maybe I'll do the ESPN subscription and try. This is the first WrestleMania on ESPN. Mm-hmm. So they need to get that when you have that little bug in the corner, that little lower third icon that they're going to be promoting this. You need a super casual fan, someone who maybe they're watching Netflix now and they go, oh man, I watched a Royal Rumble. I forgot how fun this wrestling crap is. Hey, what's going on for WrestleMania? Oh, it's CM Punk. I heard of him. Oh, Brock Lesnar. Cool. Cody and Roman. Great. That's their floor to ceiling of a hotel in Las Vegas kind of matches. Anything short of that, TKO is going to be a little nervous. They want to not only get a big return on investment on their own, they want to show ESPN, look, we're blowing this thing out of the water. So it feels like if Roman has to face somebody, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes 3 is the most compelling story that they can tell, simply because, number one, Roman retained against Cody the first time, lost to Cody, and since losing to Cody, everything's kind of fallen off the wagon for him. He lost Paul Heyman. He's lost the bloodline. He's been essentially a relegated part-timer. He's been kind of lost in the shuffle. So it's Cody as the incumbent trying to retain against Roman. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk, the problem there is, what the hell is your crowd going to do? You can rehab Cody in a couple of different ways. Cody can turn heel, he can win, he can lose. You got more time with him. Punk, you don't have that much more time with him. And to tell the CM Punk Roman Reigns story, number one, I think the story is not that compelling. Number two, I think the match that would be a very rough 20-something minute match. Brock Lesnar flinging around Cody, flinging around CM Punk, the Paul Heyman of it, one of these guys left to go to the UFC and became a legend. One of these guys left to go to the UFC and couldn't get it done. In Paul Heyman, you have someone who can stand in Brock Lesnar's corner while also trying to appeal to the Vision, which I think is an interesting little story right there, while also kind of somewhat shoehorning what originally the story felt like for WrestleMania this year, which was revisiting Ghosts of the Past, which was Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Now it's the battle of Paul Heyman guys on one side of the ledger, and on the other side, it's an established main event going to a third rematch.
I could subscribe to that. I just don't like some of that aspect is after the fact, whatever the outcome is with Cody versus Roman. Like Cody is certainly, he's like the face of the company now, but it does seem like he's kind of veering away from that. Like if you consider some of the stuff he's been doing in Hollywood and other aspects like that, how much more length does he have even as a champion moving forward, as this full-time steady Eddie moving forward after this? And you're certainly not going to get that with Roman. I think so. The outcome might be a little not only predictable, but what's next after that? After you have Cody versus Roman, I see where you're going for. Absolutely. Like the third match of those guys makes sense, but I don't know after the fact is where my question comes into play.
I think post-Mania this year, we're going to get a fairly experimental WWE.
Okay.
I think that right now we are absolutely feeling pressure we have to deliver for ESPN, we have to deliver for Netflix, we have to deliver for TKO, we have to go with the established names and focus on the pivot. What WWE looks like in January is not what WWE is going to look like in August. I think that Braun Breaker is going to be more of an established top-tier guy. I think Obafemi is going to be more of an established top-tier guy over on the Raw side. On SmackDown, Jacob Fatu is going to be someone you can ride with front and center as one of your top folks. Solo is a guy who has proven that he can be a very reliable upper mid-card, near main event level kind of guy with a 3-hour SmackDown. I don't see Cody making the transition to Hollywood the same that others have. He has a ceiling. We have yet to see him demonstrate any sort of acting charisma outside of professional wrestling. I was literally just talking about this earlier today with Mike Lawrence of Working Stiff, since he's working on he's on the writing staff for the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about Marty Supreme and talking about Timothy Chalamet and how well Chalamet did on Cody's podcast. But then my best friend Eric sent me a clip of Macho Man Randy Savage during a baseball game, in character, doing a little bit of analysis for about 30 seconds. And it was great because he's a baseball guy. Right. You know that he's someone who can talk baseball, could play baseball, was a hell of a star. But he did it in character.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. It was like, oh yeah, he made the tag, he got to the bag, and you're like, oh, this is tremendous. Guys don't do that now. And I said, when Cody went on College Game Day, he was very prepared, he was very polished, he was very professional, he was in a suit. If you tuned in, you didn't know that guy is a pro wrestler. He just seemed like a presence. You don't get folks in character anymore doing that. And I think you lose a little bit of it from wrestling. With Cody, there is still a little bit of the wrestling to him. He's overly polished the way John Cena is. But when you try to have him inhabit another character, it still just feels like Cody the wrestler. Plus, any acting gig he winds up in, you gotta cover the dumbass neck tattoo. And that is a genuine, legitimate hindrance. That's not just being snarky.
Do you think it is in today's world, though? There's a lot of people with tattoos and everything.
There's a lot of people with tattoos, but if you're going to cast Cody in a movie, you now need to factor in, all right, we got to cover up this neck tattoo. So he can't go and do an indie. He
Mhm.
can't go and do a low cost movie. It's going to increase your budget in some capacity because you got to cover up
Fair point.
the neck tattoo. He's also a dude who he's held himself out as saying, "I'm QB1. I'm the guy who's in this for the wrestling." It's why I love Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker is a dude who has no aspirations beyond I just want to be the best at the pro wrestling. And when you know you have a guy who's got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you don't lean on him. I don't see Drew McIntyre ever leaving WWE. I think he's a guy who, in a perfect world, it would have worked out for him in that babyface push, but pandemic was what it was.
Mhm.
I think he's absolutely incredible. I think Jacob Fatu, who I think of as an established veteran in my mind because I've worked with him for so many
Yeah,
years. He's 33.
that's crazy.
Like
That's
there is
crazy, isn't it?
like Wrestling Old Head says Sami Zayn is a lifer. Sami Zayn's a lifer, but Sami Zayn's tenure, he doesn't have that much more time left
Yeah,
on the clock. Maybe there's another 5 years out of Sami Zayn where he's able to really deliver at a high level. Like not everybody can be AJ Styles. Not
right.
everybody can be Rey Mysterio. So when you're looking at where the WWE is going to go post Mania, it's who are the guys that are still going to be there? Punk, it's like mentally he would love to. Physically, we all know one wrong step, one wrong move, one wrong whatever, Punk's going to be on the shelf for an extended period of time. Seth Rollins, how many times have they tried to really get behind him in earnest, and he has wound up getting injured or something, and they had to change plans? Like
Sure.
he's a dude who mentally wants to do it. Physically, I'd be a little concerned. Um, it's gonna be strange, but I think this three stages of hell situation today, it's gonna be very telling. Because if you just beat Drew outright, you're like, okay, we're kicking up our heels until Mania, and then it's who wins Rumble, and they're gonna go face Cody.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm like that's certainly a clear cut kind of card that you have set up for WrestleMania for your top matches. I'm still curious. There's still just a lot of intrigue behind. Is that what the route they'll take? Will they take the predictable route and the mainstream route, so to speak, or will they make some
Well, you
pivots?
can't. I don't think they can gamble. I think AEW can gamble, and I think that's why I get a little frustrated with AEW that they can take certain swings WWE can't.
Mhm.
WWE of old, if it's January and Mania is in April, you could have 3 title changes between January and April,
Yeah.
and nobody bats an eyelash. Like eventually, you get where you go. Now we're in an era of long title reigns that
Hmm.
means something. That if Cody were to lose the title today, I know that the show takes place in like an hour and a half or whatever it is. It
Right.
starts.
Yeah.
Um, if Cody loses the title today, they go, man, he just won it at SummerSlam. What a short title reign. It's crazy.
That is crazy to think.
And then if he wins it back, he's now a 3-time champion in a year and a half span.
Which is also nuts to think.
It's a little kooky, but also, I mean, Punk won the title twice last year.
Hmm.
You've still got Gunther who's floating around out there with nothing to do.
Boy, that's another thing. I mean, like you put Gunther to defeat John Cena, and he doesn't really have a huge viable dance partner for this juncture at WrestleMania. If that's the card you're going with, that they go with that you laid out.
I tried to do the fantasy booking thing of I wanted to see chaos coming out of Netflix's Raw anniversary. I wanted it to be a long-term story. Let's make it count. Get rid of this version of CM Punk that's very commercial, that's very corporate, and get to what makes that guy work, which is he's the outsider who hates everyone, and build a very personal program with him and Braun Breaker, and then just do Gunther and Brock Lesnar. And
Yeah.
then that to me frees up night one of WrestleMania, a women's match.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
there's you need a compelling story in the women's division, and right now there ain't one. Rhea and Io as tag champs, we bagged on it this week. Of there's higher and better uses for one or two of them. I think their
Hmm.
triple threat match for Mania last year was our second or third favorite match of the year. It was
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely remarkable. I shortchanged it just because I was there live and haven't gone back and rewatched it and saw what it looked like in full presentation. you can get Liv Morgan up to, near the top of the card. I don't know that Liv Morgan main eventing is where they're at right now, unless there really is a major story on SmackDown. I don't trust Jade Cargill for more than 3 minutes, and clearly they don't, because her matches have been non-existent. Her character has been wearing a title over her shoulder and saying that she is that bitch. The hope is Bianca Belair can get healthy and she'll return and be in ring shape to headline a show. But then it's fine. Like, Becky is now the Intercontinental Champion, so maybe her and AJ, but that's not a main event kind of match. It's very, very tough. They have a lot of really talented women. They're all just kind of there right now. They have not had a women's match main event a night of WrestleMania in a couple of years, which I think is a crime. That triple threat really should have been a main event match.
Been one of them. Should have been one of them.
And if you're not going to go with a women's match, you need a compelling main event match. So to me, you've got 4 huge names, the guys that are sitting around. I think those are the 4 guys in the commercial, aren't they?
Yeah, basically.
I didn't even think of that, but like, those are the 4 guys in the commercial. So you're not putting Brock Lesnar in a random mid-card match against Jey Uso. This isn't remember the one year where it was him versus Dean Ambrose?
Oh my God.
They just did that match and it was like, wait, what?
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Don't forget, there's also it was crazy. They may need a space for Chris Jericho.
It's true.
Dude, WWE is in a very odd place right now they have the talent. It's just a matter of utilizing them. And I know, breaking news, there's another talent that they're going to have for quite some time, Dom.
Yeah, speaking of maybe long term, here we got Logan Paul. He revealed on his podcast, Impulsive, I actually just signed my official long-term contract with the WWE seconds ago. We took espresso shots. I'm officially a full-timer now, he revealed. All you people saying I'm a part-timer can shut your mouth. Feels good. Feels good to have a job. Your boy is going to be working. I'm excited to get the year started. 2026. I want to hit it hard. I want to become the best wrestler I can be. This only speaks to not only Logan Paul's passion, but like good long-term stuff for WWE, I think, in this regard, because Logan Paul is, I would argue, top 3 heel in wrestling right now for me.
Top 3 heel in wrestling, maybe top 5. I don't know about top 3. I would say he's probably a top 5 heel.
Who would you put above him?
The All Elite Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
I agree with that.
The Intercontinental Champion Mr. Dominic Marie D'Angelo. Or sorry, Dominic Mysterio, not Dominic D'Angelo. I think Drew is a far more effective heel.
Okay.
And in thinking about it, Seth, before he went down, was probably one of the top 5. Whether we we'll love it or not, he was definitely a top 5 heel. And I've been enjoying Joe's work as a top heel.
He's a good heel too.
Logan Paul is very, very hateable. He's just not. He's not the 1A on that show yet. He's another guy that by end of year, you could tell a trajectory and a story where Braun Breaker wins the world title and he winds up facing Logan Paul.
Absolutely.
And then that's why I'm saying it's going to be a youth movement. I think that's where WWE is going to go. Hunter knows the rules. Heyman knows the rules. Bruce knows the rules. You can only rely on the guys you have for so long. Ethan Page, by the way, is a top 5 heel. Just putting that out there. It's the work he's doing in NXT. Eventually, they'll move him up to the main roster. I just think he gets slept on a lot.
He does. Ricochet's a good heel as well.
Ricochet's a fantastic heel. He just needs a better program.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm specifically, like, Wrestling Holdout kind of makes my point here too. MJF is a heel, but the fans react to him similarly to Dom. They like to hate him. Logan Paul is actually hated. That's kind of where I'm going from with the top.
So I think some of the people initially actually hate Logan Paul because they just hate Logan Paul the person, not Logan Paul the character. They just think that this guy is just awful.
But that's a benefit to him in regards to what he's doing. You know what I mean?
I don't disagree. I think he he's maneuvered away from people hating Logan Paul the person to they hate Logan Paul the character, and that works.
Hmm.
And I think he's figuring out how to be a wrestling heel as opposed to he's a celebrity that people dislike. This isn't years ago when they brought in Snooki and people wanted to just hate Snooki because it's like, we don't like you, you don't belong here. Logan Paul is a heel people outright hate wasn't going to last because he's a dude who loves wrestling, respects wrestling, and works his ass off in the ring to the point where you're going, oh, this guy genuinely gets it and wants to do well. So the shelf life of people just hating him being Logan Paul was gonna be short. Now making him part of the vision and a guy that you hate in character, that's where you're gonna make some money with Logan Paul.
Yeah. Yeah. I would still, I mean, like, if it was last year, I would definitely put Drew in my top 3 above Logan Paul, no doubt. He might be my top, actually. He was my wrestler of the year last year with Drew McIntyre. But I think how just things have shifted and storylines have played out. I just think Logan Paul would definitely be in my top 3 for this year and maybe.
So Drew is a guy who, again, if it weren't in this new world of extremely long title reigns, absolutely would I put the title on Drew McIntyre tonight.
Okay, yeah.
1,000%. Put the title on Drew. He wins the 3 stages of hell. He gets to be champion for a couple weeks. We get to him versus Cody at Royal Rumble in a singles match. You get some kind of crazy ass non-finish. Then you got to go to the Elimination Chamber. And Cody's got to win it back in the chamber to then go face the winner of the Royal Rumble, Roman Reigns. And then there you go.
Right.
But they're not going to do that because you need to really establish we got to build Cody. We need to get merchandise made. We need shirts. We need posters. We need billboards. We got all the promotional photos locked and in the can. We need a long term. It's Cody. He's our world champion. He's the guy we're running with. It's a different world, my man.
It really is. Long term has been the phrase of the day for sure for this episode. No doubt about it. Obafemi, he might be long term for Raw, according to Fightful Select. What do you think about that? Him going to Raw instead of SmackDown? Do you think that's the good spot for him there, Robert?
I think it shows that they have absolutely no faith in a certain other talent. Yeah. Look, you put LA Knight and Jey Uso on Raw. Neither one of them have become the number 2 babyface on that show convincingly.
Jeez, that's a great point.
They've occupied that space, but it's kind of like a by default.
Mm-hmm.
Obafemi on Raw, boy, that's interesting. That is a Dominic Mysterio returns from injury. I'm 1,000%. They're making me defend my title. I'll fight anybody because I'm the greatest champion ever. Boom, here comes Obafemi. And then you're off to the races.
Yeah, you can definitely start him off. You can even put him in the position that you're kind of doing with Trick Williams on SmackDown as well, like just kind of getting it in the heads of people that he's in the world title picture at some point too.
Yeah, but the thing is Obafemi and Punk, that's not a great look. I would rather see Obafemi win the Intercontinental title and just go on a tear and let it just loom there as this. If Braun Breaker wins the title and he overcomes, like you still got Obafemi, and if Obafemi can be heated up for 2027 WrestleMania, great.
Yeah, no, it absolutely opens up the book a lot more for I think for Raw. So
he's also excited. One where sorry I didn't mean to cut you up, but I just been thinking in 2027, like Mania 2027 is Saudi Arabia, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Mm-hmm. So you need sort of a very idiot-proof story for that WrestleMania because you are not going to get a ton of casuals. I don't think that's going to be the case. So I don't think you can tell a more nuanced story. A straightforward Obafemi debuts on Raw in 2026. He runs roughshod for 13, 14 months, and then he goes and wins the world title against Logan Paul in 2027. Wow. It's on a whiteboard somewhere. In that writer's room, there is someone who has probably said, we could probably get to Obafemi versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania next year, and no one's going to bat an eyelash. Devin Dowling says Obafemi versus Austin Theory for the IC title at Mania this year.
I guess that could work. That would be.
I
I'd be fine with that, depending on how they handle Theory. If they utilize him right and he cuts good promos, which is going to be some uphill sledding there, but I could buy that.
I will say this very, very quickly because I know that for whatever reason, certain wrestling pundits, journalists, Brian Alvarez, has created this narrative that Austin Theory is not good. Austin Theory has not been booked well. Austin Theory is not bad.
No,
I think
right.
Austin Theory is someone who has the skills, has the tools. When he's positioned properly, I think could really be impressive. There's been a number of factors working against him, some his own doing, some external. And I think this will be a really interesting test for him. But we'll see what lies for that man and all of your favorite WWE and AEW stars, because we will be here as we are every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms, including WWE Creative _ISH X account, the at Dominic D'Angelo X account, the at SE Scoops X account, and on YouTube on Rumor and Innuendo, Podcast Heat, and ad-free shows. Hell of an episode, hell of a week, and because this is airing live, there's very small possibility of Dom actually screwing this up and me getting to say, damn it, Dom. So on behalf of the flawless producer for January 9th, 2026, Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpolis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
New year, not really new me.
Shh.